Oh, hello. How you going? It's been a few days since I've done a video, so I thought I'd start doing a video series starting from Ruth and just working our way through Ruth, doing maybe a passage a day, and where we can explain it, we'll explain it. The whole point of Ruth, from what I can understand, is that the mother was going through a hard time with Yahweh, and because of that, she asked her daughters to go off to be married because she knew that it'd be hard on them not to be married. And let's see, they were quite sad about this, of course, and they really. And yeah, they really went on to have a good life, as you know, by the end of Ruth. But yeah, just thought I'd do one chapter a day, one passage a day, and work through it. It's always been a well sought after book. Well, they all are, all scripture is. But it's certainly one that's been spoken about probably on many occasions, just due to its spiritualness of the story that happened with Ruth and her sister. As well. So yeah, okay. So starting from, I'm reading from the HS scriptures and starting from Ruth 1, which Ruth, if the translation's correctly, translates as friend. So okay, we'll start in chapter 1, verse 1. And it came to be, in those days when the rulers ruled, that there was a scarcity of food in the land. And a man from Beth-lehem, Yehudah, went to sojourn in the fields of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife was Naomi. And the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. Euphrates of Beth-lehem, Yehudah. And they went to the fields of Moab, and came to be there. And Elimelech, husband of Naomi, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. And they took wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Oprah, and the name of the other was Ruth. And they dwelt there in about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion also died, both of them. So the woman was bereaved of her 2 sons and of her husbands. And she rose up with her daughters-in-law, and returned from the fields of Moab. For she had heard in the fields of Moab that Yahweh had visited his people in giving them bread. And she left the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her. And they went on the way to return to the land of Yehudah. And Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, Go, return each to her mother's house. Yahweh show kindness to you, as you have shown to the dead and to me. Yahweh grant that you find rest, each in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voices and wept. They said to her, No, we shall go back with you to the people. But Naomi said, Go back, my daughters. Why go with me? Have I still sons in Moab? Sorry, I just had to get rid of the internet because of that distraction. Yahweh grant that you find rest, each in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voices and wept. That was verse 9 to catch up. And they said to her, No, we should go back with you to your people. But Naomi said, Go back, my daughters. Why go with me? Have I still sons in my womb, that they should become your husbands? Go back, my daughters. Go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have expectancy, even if I should have a husband tonight, and should also bear sons, would you wait for them till they were grown? Would you shut yourselves up not to have a husband? No, my daughters, for it is much more bitter for me than for you, because the hand of Yahweh has gone out against me. And they lifted up their voices and wept again. And Oprah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her, and she said, Look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her mighty ones. Go back, follow your sister-in-law. But Ruth said, Do not urge me to leave you, or to go back from following after you. For wherever you go, I go, and wherever you stop over, I stop over. Your people is my people, and your Elohim is my Elohim. Where you die, I die, and there I shall be buried. Yahweh, do so to me, and more also, for death itself parts you and me. And when she saw that she was strengthening herself to go with her, she ceased to speak to her. And both of them went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to be, when they had come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved because of them. And they said, Is this Naomi? And she said to them, Do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, for El Shaddai has dealt very bitterly with me. I went out filled, and Yahweh has brought me back empty. Why do you call me Naomi, since Yahweh has witnessed against me, and El Shaddai has done evil to me? Thus Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, who returned from the field of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem at the beginning of barley harvest. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 1, verses 1 to 22. Thanks for watching. Oh, hello, how you going? Yeah, been a bit busy with the art course, so sorry I haven't got back to Ruth now, but I'm going to do Ruth for you, but I'll do a catch-up. I'll do Ruth 2 and 3 today, so we can be caught up for the last for the day I missed. Okay, so we're reading from the HS scriptures, and reading from chapter 2. And Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man of great wealth, of the clan of Amalek, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, Please let me go to the field and glean heads of grain after him, in whose eyes I find favour. So she said to her, Go, my daughter. And she left and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers, as it turned out. And she came to the part of the field belonging to Boaz, the near relative of Amalek. And see, Boaz had come from Bethlehem, and said to the reapers, Yahweh be with you. And they answered him, Yahweh barak you, which barak is blessing. I'm pretty sure. I looked up the word at one stage. And Boaz said to his servant who was appointed over the reapers, and we'll stop at that. Let's just double check barak before we go on, just to make sure that we're on the right path. Barak. Yeah, so it's like saying be blessed, because Barak Al is blessed of Al. So, oh yeah, here it is, Barak, blessed. Yeah, so there we go. We're on the right. On the spot there. I always like to check just in case. And Boaz said to his servants, who was appointed over the reapers, who's among whose young women is this? So the servant who was appointed over the reapers answered and said, It is a young Moabite woman who came back with Naomi from the fields of Moab. She said, Please let me glean and gather among the sheaves behind the reapers. And she came and remained from morning until now. She sat a little while in the house. And Boaz said to Ruth, You have heard, have you not, my daughter? Do not go to glean in another field, nor go from here, but stay close to my young woman. Let your eyes be on the field which they reap, and you shall go after them. Have I not commanded the young men not to touch you? And when you are thirsty, go to the vessels and drink from what the young men have drawn. And she fell on her face, bowed down to the ground, and said to him, Why have I found favour in your eyes? That you should take notice of me, seeing I am a foreigner? And Boaz answered and said to her, I have been told all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you have left the father and your mother and the land of your birth, and have come to the people whom you did not know before. Yahweh, repay your work, and your reward is complete from Yahweh, Elohim, which is also translates as mighty ones. Of Israel, under those wings you have come to seek refuge. And she said, Let me find favour in your eyes, my master, because you have comforted me, and have spoken to the heart of the female servant. Though I am not like any of your female servants. And Boaz said to her, Come here at mealtime, then you shall eat of the bread, and dip your piece of bread in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he passed roasted grain to her, and she ate, and was satisfied in the leftover. Excuse me for a second, I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. And she rose up to glean, and Boaz commanded his young men, saying, Let her glean ever among the sheaves, and do not embarrass her. Rather, draw out from the bundles for her, and leave it for her to glean, and do not restrain her. And she gleaned in the field into evening, and beat out that which she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. Look up the word ephah, see how much barley that was. An ephah of barley. Oops. Oh no. Should have kept my spot, shouldn't I? There we are. 17. E-P-H-A-H. E-P-H. Well, in here it says ephah, dark or gloomy. A dark or gloomy barley. Okay. It's quite strange. Never heard of a dark or gloomy load of barley before, but anyway. And she took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw that she had gleaned, and she brought out and gave to her what she had left over after she was satisfied. Then her mother-in-law asked her, Why have you gleaned today? And where did you work? Barak be the one who took notice of you. So blessed be the one that took notice of you again. And she told her mother-in-law, with whom she had worked, and said, The name of the man I worked today with is Boaz. And Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, Barak be he of Yahweh, so blessed be he of Yahweh, who has not forsaken his kindness to the living and the dead. And Naomi said to her, The man is a relative of ours, one of our redeemers. And Ruth the Moabitess said, He also said to me, Stay close to my young people until they have completed all my harvest." And Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It is good, my daughter, that you go out with this young woman, and that they do not meet you in any other field." She was very blessed, Ruth. And she stayed close by the young woman of Boaz to glean, to the completion of barley harvest and wheat harvest, but she dwelt with her mother-in-law. Chapter 3. And Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, should I not seek rest for you, so that it is well with you? Now is not Boaz with those young women who have been our relative? So he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. And you shall bathe and anoint yourself, and put your garments on, and go down to the threshing floor." Which threshing floor was basically where they would take all the load of barley or the load of wheat, and that's where they'd actually like bash the wheat to get the seed pods. And also, I'm pretty sure that's where they, if they want to make flour and that's where they'll do the grinding and stuff like that as well in the threshing floor. So, and you shall bathe and anoint yourself, and put your garments on, and go down to the threshing floor. Do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. And it shall be, when he lies down, you shall notice the place where he lies, and shall go in and uncover his feet, and lie down, and let him make known to you what you should do. And she said to her, "All that you say to me I do." And she went down to the threshing floor, and did according to all that her mother-in-law instructed her. And Boaz ate and drank, and his heart was glad. And he went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain. And she came softly and uncovered his feet, and lay down. And it came to be at midnight that the man was startled, and turned himself and saw a woman lying at his feet. And he said, "Who are you?" And she answered, "I am Ruth, your female servant. Now you shall spread your covering over your female servant, for you are a redeemer." And he said, "Barak are you of Yahweh, my daughter, for you have shown more kindness at the end than at the beginning, not to go after young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, do not fear all that you say I do for you, for all the people of my town know that you are a capable woman. And now it is true that I am your Redeemer. However, there is a Redeemer nearer than I. Stop over tonight, and in the morning it shall be that if he redeems you, good, let him do it. But if he is not pleased to redeem you, then I shall redeem you as Yahweh lives. Lie down until morning." And she lay at his feet until morning. She arose before one could recognize another. And he said, "Let it not be known that the woman came to the threshing floor." And he said, "Bring the shawl that's on you, and hold it." So she held it, and he measured 6 measures of barley, and laid it on her. And she went into the city. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, "Is that you, my daughter?" And she explained to her all that the man had done for her. She said, "He gave me these 6 measures of barley, for he said to me, 'Do not go empty-handed to your mother-in-law.'" And she said, "Wait, my daughter, until you know how the matter falls, for the man is not going to rest until he has completed the matter this day." So yeah, thank you for listening. That was we read chapter 2 and chapter 3 of Ruth, and be back tomorrow for chapter 4. So may Yahweh bless you, and may you always call on his son Yahweh Yahushua, and find blessing in his sight. Yahweh bless. Hey, welcome. Going to be doing the last book of Ruth today, or the last chapter of Ruth today, and then given a spiritual explanation. A spiritual explanation of what was going on in this book of Ruth, and the spiritual meaning behind this lot of chapters, 4 in total. So okay, we'll read through number 4, and then we'll go to the spiritual understanding of what I got from this book, this book of Ruth, or Friend. And Boaz went up to the gate and sat down there. This is chapter 4. And Boaz went down to the gate and sat down there, and said, the Redeemer of whom Boaz had spoken came by. And Boaz said, turn aside, so and so, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. He then said to the Redeemer Naomi, who has come back from the fields of Moab, sold the piece of land which belonged to our brother Elimelech. And I thought that I should disclose it to you, saying, buy it back in the presence of the inhabitants and of the elders of my people. If you do redeem it, redeem it. But if you do not redeem it, inform me, so that I know. For there is no one but you to redeem it, and I am next after you. And he said, I redeem it. And Boaz said, on the day you buy the field from the hand of Naomi, you shall also acquire Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead on his inheritance. And the Redeemer said, I am not able to redeem it for myself, lest I ruin my own inheritance. Redeem my right of redemption for yourself, for I am not able to redeem it. And this was formerly done in Israel, concerning redeeming and exchanging, to confirm every word. One man took off his sandal and gave it to the other, and this was a witness in Israel. So the Redeemer said to Boaz, buy it for yourself. And he took off his sandal. And Boaz said to the elders and to all the people, you are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Kilion's and Mahlon's from the hand of Naomi, and also Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon. I have acquired as my wife to raise up the name of the dead of his inheritance, so that the name of the dead should not be cut off from among his brothers and from the gates of his place. You are witnesses today. And all the people who were at the gate and the elders said, witness, Yahweh, make the woman who is coming to your house as Rahel and Leah, the two who built the house of Israel, and prove your worth in Ephrathah, and proclaim the name of Bethlehem. And let your house be like the house of Peretz, whom Tamar brought to Yehudah, of the seed which Yahweh gives you from among this young woman. And Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. And he went into her and said, Yahweh granted her conception, and she bore a son. And the woman said to Naomi, Barak be Yahweh, who has not left you this day without a redeemer, and let his name be proclaimed in Israel. And he shall be to you a restorer of life, and a sustainer of your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you, who is better to you than 7 sons, has borne him. And Naomi took the child and laid him on her bosom, and became a nurse to him. And the woman, her neighbours, gave him a name, saying, this is son born of Naomi. And they called his name Obed. He was the father of Yeshai, the father of David. And this is the genealogy of Peretz. Peretz threw forth Hezron, and Hezron brought forth Ram, and Ram brought forth Aminadab, and Aminadab brought forth Nahshon, and Nahshon brought forth Salmon, and Salmon brought forth Boaz, and Boaz brought forth Obed, and Obed brought forth Yeshai, and Yeshai brought forth David, So yeah, that's the last chapter of Ruth. So the spiritual meaning I got out of this book that if you don't put in the cares of yourself first, but put in the cares of your fellow brethren or just the fellow people, the cares of bringing salvation to people, the cares of preaching the glad tidings of truth, the cares of bringing peace and love between brothers and sisters, and the fact of sharing nothing that goes against Yahweh, but sharing the truth, like sharing the truth of his earthly form, Yahweh, Yahushua, and also which is, and sharing forth Yahweh as well. So what I got out of this was the fact that if you don't put your own pleasure, your own needs, your own pleasures, for you shouldn't worry about those things, for Yahweh will provide anyway. And if you put forth the fact of reaching out to brothers and sisters, and reaching out to those that aren't saved, and showing them love and kindness in all aspect, and bringing them and helping them come to the truth, that at the end you shall have your inheritance, which your inheritance is your inheritance of salvation, and which is your eternal life with the Father. So that should be your main goal in life, and that's what this book seems to be spiritually, that it's going to bring up Yisrael, the house of Yisrael, which is obviously the house of those that obviously reverence him by his name for sure, and reverence him by truth. And the way to find truth is to obviously to seek it and to look, and you should find, and those that seek knowledge, seek wisdom, so become wise, and wisdom, will obviously help lead you in the right path. So yeah, that was sort of the meaning that I got out of this book of Ruth, and that, at the end of the day, that everything certainly comes into a glory, that if you do things the right way, and if you follow the truth and teach the truth, that you should help others to do things the right way, and also inquire their inheritance. So thank you for listening to this, and I'm going to piece all these together, so you'll have the whole book of Ruth as one video. So I hope you enjoy the book of Ruth and the spiritual explanation. Yahweh bless you. Amen.